peace. I'm a positive person. Wasn't always like that. You know it took me some learning. They asked me how I push a positive light, how I keep my composure through internal fights when addressing the mic through these dark nights. Where the Bruce Wayne, what a trick me. Here's some truth that I'll let free. Bruce Banner of rap if you ask me. When my will to win and the track meet, the secret is I'm always angry. Yo, gassed up, I'm about to go green. Go green, go green. Hulk smash if she know me. Know me, know me. Write it to life like I'm Stan Lee. Stan Lee, Stan Lee. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. Green, green, green. I'm about to go green. I'm about to go green. I'm about to go green. Get the fuck back, I'm about to go green.
When they come, and they will, they'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Oh, I thought the Beast had won it all.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top.
Let me infiltrate the beat. Concentrate the heat. If you ain't on my level, fuck it, let me be. I'll be going till it's all in motion. Talking killing rappers, then I hit my quota. And my train of thought is more a locomotive. Talking reason for it, I got locomotives. Used to be on a revenge tip. On a stun on my ex and a friend's tip. I was Spider-Man whipping the black suit. I was powerful but almost lost Luke. Blurring the line between human and artist. Try not to change, but I swear it's the hardest. I swear when you're up, they turn you to a target. Home was a trip, all I did when I'm talking. So, what it take to be an icon? All in your desktop, so I just might already be one. My me with the label, it feels on the table one sign, but I'm down for a free lunch. Just speaking my heat-seeking missiles of hits, but other than me, I see no heat exist. Yo, gassed up, I'm about to go green. Go green, go green. Hulk smash if she know me. Know me, know me. Write it to life like I'm Stan Lee. Stan Lee, Stan Lee. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. Green, green, green. I'm about to go green. I'm about to go green. I'm about to go green. Get the fuck back, I'm about to go green. I might begin making a feature a rack. Cause when I hit your beat, I turn shit to Iraq. Dropping bombs like I'm cursing you out. This your house, then I'm kicking you out. Quiet as a mouse, came in the game, not a word is out that I've been lighting the flame. Shit is potent, don't you know it? I've been flowing steady, growing till they know the name. Saw it ahead of time, knew that I'd get to my losing myself in the view to some window pain. I swear I'm all about peace.
All right, you guys. Good afternoon. Good to see everybody here. Let me turn this down a little bit. Turn the desktop audio. Sorry about that. Get set up for you guys. Let's have a decent show. So, we're going to call this It's Trending. And every day we're going to talk about what's trending in the world of sports. Maybe not what's trending on Twitter, but definitely what's trending in my world and what I care about. And we'll always have that open conversation with everybody. So, thank you guys for being here. We got 25 people watching. I appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. If you want to watch the content, like I said, there are playlists that I've created on YouTube, and you can go through the playlist, pick the one you like best, and start watching all the videos. Watching the videos is essential, right, to supporting the channel. That's all I need from you. Just watch it. Just support us and watch. That's it. I'm not asking for anything else. Shout out to those of you who are over here from TikTok, or if you know who I am. I appreciate everybody. We're all the same. So, with that being said, we're going to jump into this. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to drag something over to the screen, and we can talk about what's trending. First thing I'm going to do is always shrink myself so we can all read it together, and we'll go from there. We'll let you guys know what we're doing and what we're talking about. Okay? So, with that being said, let me pull up my studio, and let me go. I'm going to be this little guy in the corner here. I've been called a lot of things in my life. Little ain't one of them. So, first thing we're going to touch on is, let's go ahead and touch on this topic right here. So, it turns out a judge is going to sentence our man Henry Ruggs, former NFL wide receiver, used to be a member of the Raiders. You guys don't know the deal. He obviously did what he did. DUI. Going incredibly fast, and he killed a woman. Now he's taking a plea deal, and initially he was facing 50 years. 50 years, guys. Yeah, you killed somebody. Recklessly. Absurdity. But they take a plea deal, and we're looking at 3 to 10 years. And people are going to talk about good behavior. People are going to talk about does the punishment fit the crime? And I hope I'm loud enough for you guys. I apologize. I'm checking my mic levels right now. If I'm low, let me know. But what I wanted to say is, this isn't the worst thing. Some people are talking like, oh man, he's getting no punishment. No punishment for me was Dante Stallworth. And if you guys don't know Dante Stallworth was a former, I think he was a Patriots wide receiver at the time. I remember he was a New Orleans Saints draft pick. But Dante Stallworth, he had a, oh my goodness, my dog, I apologize, guys. He had a vehicular homicide. And I'm trying to pull it up if you guys don't mind here. Give me a second. Dante Stallworth, if I can remind people, this person, and now I don't know what, this was written in 2009. 2009. So we got to find Aaron McLaughlin here. I don't know if this is a current person. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. But Aaron McLaughlin wrote this irresponsible story back in 2009 and tried to convince us that Dante Stallworth's sentence was no slap on the wrist. I want you guys to be the decision of this. I want you guys to let me know what's happening here. Now, Dante Stallworth was out celebrating. I don't think it's in the story. Dante Stallworth was out celebrating his newest contract in the NFL, and I believe he had a signing bonus somewhere in the $3 or $4 million range. And Dante Stallworth went out, had some drinks, I think he hit up a strip club, and he left, and it was really early in the morning. And the word is, a pedestrian, a man, jumped in front of his vehicle. Not in the crosswalk. Yeah. It's a lawyer's dream. An attorney's dream. They're going to go in there and litigate and do the best they can. But this woman writes, let me be clear about one thing. I believe that if you kill somebody when you are driving drunk, you are a murderer. I get mad whenever I hear anybody say this action is an accident. Cool. You know that by getting behind the wheel of a car, you can kill somebody. That is no accident. It's premeditated murder. Holy smokes. However, in this case, there were extenuating circumstances. Those circumstances have nothing to do with him being an NFL receiver. Sure. I'm telling you right now, I run somebody over, DUI, you got to be kidding me. You think I'm getting this punishment here? According to this woman, he ran out into the street in front of Stallworth. It was not a crosswalk. There was not supposed to be any pedestrians nearby. Even if he was sober, he would have still hit him. So to me, this is now just a DUI case as opposed to vehicular manslaughter. Well, that's not true. It was vehicular manslaughter. There's somebody no longer here anymore. Did he get a fair sentence for DUI? And this lady's crazy. She starts saying, as far as I know, it was his first offense. His first offense. Most people lose their license for a period of time. He lost it forever. If you don't know, Dante Stallworth can never drive again. He permanently lost his ability to drive, or his license to drive, for the rest of his life. I don't think that's a big deal. That's ridiculous. Jail time isn't always given on a first offense. He was given 30 days in jail. 30 days in jail and some community service. He paid a lot of money to the victim's family. Again, not everybody who gets a DUI does that. Yeah, not everybody who gets a DUI has that luxury. Let's be real. Not everybody who gets a DUI has the luxury of buying their way out of it. And Henry Ruggs is about to have that same luxury to some extent. These slaps on the wrist are embarrassing. He'll likely get to play this woman says, he will likely not be able to play at all this year. I think Roger Goodell will probably suspend him for the season. Not all employers suspend a worker for a year. Yeah, we know. Suspending him from the league. He actually came back and played in the league after killing a man while drunk driving. Just so we're clear. So number one, she says he has no chance to have a license again, 30 days in jail, ordered to pay a lot of money, and a likely year suspension. At the bottom, she says, if you ask me, that doesn't sound like a slap on the wrist at all. The punishment has to fit the crime. Due to the circumstances, this was a DUI, not a vehicular homicide or vehicular manslaughter. For a DUI, this is strict punishment. This lady is ridiculous. He got 26 days in jail. They released him early. He got 26 days in jail. He did 80% of his time. Are you kidding me, bro? You kidding me? This is absurd. So Henry Ruggs getting 3 to 10 years. I don't care what he gets. I don't care what he gets. It's a lot worse than Dante Stallworth. But still, this is privilege if you ever saw it, y'all. This is privilege, and this is a different privilege. This is economic privilege. Economic privilege on a whole nother level. So, shout out to this first story for pissing me off. Yeah, Henry Ruggs. I'll get to the chat and we'll let you guys know what you think about it. And after each topic, I'm going to pull up the chat and see what you guys have to say, and we'll have a talk about it. So if you have a comment about it, I don't miss it and I don't get to it too late. So let me go back to the chat. I'll bounce back and forth. So we're off in here. Shout out to Easy Sunrise. Thank you for being here. East Texas in the house. What part of East Texas? Are we talking like Beaumont? Are we talking Corpus Christi? How East Texas are we talking here? Are we just talking Houston? You look exhausted. I'm definitely not exhausted, Bankroll. Thank you for being here, and thank you for worrying about how I look. Little suspect. I'm just saying. Don't worry about how I look. I look good. Ask the ladies. Do you think that the O-line will keep him clean at all times? Who is him? Are you talking about Casey Thompson? Keeping him clean at all times? The O-line at FAU I have not assessed on any level. Austin, Texas. All right. Austin, Texas in the house. We got a lot of Texas people up in here. What up, Rico? What up, Marlo? What up? What up? What's good? What's up, East Texas? Stephen F. Austin alumni. There you go. Shout out to Matt Agnew. Thanks for everybody being here. What's good? CS1. Oh, you guys all know each other. Angelo State. Angelo State had 2 transfers to the FBS level, just so you guys know. Colorado quarterback. I'm not sure what the hell that means. Ruggs, 3-10, out in 1, and some good behavior. I think he's going to do more than 1 year. Easy Sunrise. I know the area. There have been a few times. Yep, I'm here. Shout out to Marantz Ranch for being here. If you need some financial advice, don't go to him. But if you want to learn about stocks, go to his page. Go to his channel. What up, Money? Shout out to LGZ7. Yes, I was about to say that. Dante Stallworth. Exactly. Great minds think alike. You guys know the deal. Defensive end Leonard from the ramp. Did Leonard Little do the same thing? Am I unfamiliar with this? I might have forgot. That's all. I might have forgot. Okay. No punishment is a sex predator's getting anything less than life. Shout out to you, Bankroll. Yeah, I'm under the impression any of those individuals who commit a crime in that regard, I feel like they're wired differently from the rest of us. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think there's any rehabilitation of any sort. I think they're just, whatever your preference is. Whatever turns you on, turns you on. Some guys like a thicker woman. Some guys like legs and, blonde hair, blue eyes. Whatever you like is your business. And then there's some guys out there who like 9-year-olds. And I don't think it changes. I don't think it ever goes away. So do what you want with that. I'm not here to promote any type of violence towards anything, but definitely justice and ensuring that, we stay a civilized community, because to me that's uncivilized. Nonetheless, Dante Stallworth did the same exact thing and didn't face any time. Like I said, I remember that because it was an older gentleman. Well, it turns out he was like the family didn't think very highly of him. Dante Stallworth gave his entire signing bonus to them. I think it was $3.2 million that was left after taxes. So they were happy with the money, and they kind of rolled out from there. Stephen Dix just committed to Marshall. That's great because they need a linebacker. So shout out to Stephen Dix. Stephen Dix Jr. coming from Florida State, going to Marshall. Thank you for the update, Chris McCray. And finally finding a school that believed in him and giving him an offer despite having surgery. East Texas, talking about Arkansas-Texas border. Texarkana, I've been there. Shout out to Cindy. Hey, Cindy. Hope you're wearing your pants. Sheila E. Hey, Rico. What up, Rico? Hey, Tom Rose. All right, Cameron Hayes. Was the Stallworth case treated like a suicide attempt because paints it that way? Yeah, Cameron Hayes. It was treated like the civilian, the pedestrian, was inebriated and jumped out into the road, and there was no stopping it. You couldn't help where it happened at the speed and the rate it happened at. But all that's just a cop-out. The reality is someone was operating a vehicle while inebriated, illegally, and shouldn't have been, and somebody died because of it. How you want to paint it, how the lawyers painted it, that's what they get paid to do, but it is what it is. What up, Rico? Shout out to you. After a drunken birthday in 1998, NFL star Leonard Little crashed into and killed another motorist. It's unfortunate. So it happens. Connor Gilbreth. We're going to talk about everybody every night, apparently. So Connor Gilbreth, what do you want me to say? He's got offers from multiple teams, and he hasn't picked one yet. And that's just where we're at. Make sure you hit that like button. Shout out to Kim for reminding everybody. Kim Jones. There's 94 people in here. We have 17 likes. Let's go. Figure it out. I checked out the videos you sent me. She ballin'. Way better than you at that age. Shout out to LGZ7. I was texting him today. I was showing him my daughter. I have a 9-year-old daughter. Shout out to my daughter, Forever. And Forever plays an AAU basketball team. And Forever's on a traveling basketball team. She has a tournament this weekend. So I will not be live streaming this weekend because I'm going to go see her play. And anytime I watch her play, I make videos and I post them on TikTok. But I can't post them on YouTube because of copyright claims because I always put music on them. But she's a beast. And if you ever want to see just a 9-year-old girl with the real aggression, real skills, and just a defensive mindset, that'd be my daughter. So I'm really proud of her. And she's a really accomplished athlete. And here's LGZ7. I've known him my whole life. He's saying, hey, she's better than you at that age. I'll take that. No shots. I'm not mad. The NFL got stalwart, the best lawyers, and yep, that case under the rug. They brushed it right under the rug. That's correct. 94 people watching. Everyone hit that like. Yeah, shout out to the 29 of you who listen. She's a real beast. Thank you very much. Yeah, my daughter's name is Forever. All right, the second piece before we get to, we are going to talk transfers. I want to make this very clear. We're going to talk transfers. We're going to talk Colorado. But I'll definitely get to everybody. But let's get to the next piece of news here that I want to talk about that's trending. Here we go. And it's this right here. Okay. Shout out to the sports world out there. Shout out to the World Athletics. They've officially banned transgender women from competing in the female world category events. So, there are world championships every single 2 years. They alternate between the Olympics. When we have an Olympic year, we don't have world championships. We don't have and then every 2 years we have world championships. So it's incredible. It's a big deal for me. Tired of seeing certain individuals competing with other individuals that they don't belong with. There's some, if you don't know, there's some amazing 800-meter runners that have more testosterone than you and I. And I was born male, and I have all the equipment, and it works. But we got to stop it somehow, some way. So shout out to the athletic commissions for realizing, hey, man, there's women out here running against other non-women. Just, it is what it is. So I'm just here to applaud them for it. I'm not here to get political. Shout out to the World Athletics Association for deciding that women will race women and men will race men. And I don't care what you identify as. Just need to know what we're doing here. That's all I'm saying. How many chromosomes you got? You got X and Y? What you got? So, I think that goes without saying. No comments needed. The next one, this one right here kind of pissed me off. I went and found this on Twitter today, and it caught my eye. So, sorry I didn't jump to the chat to see what you guys had to say about that last one, but I'm assuming there's really nothing to debate there. So this one here, this guy, Michael Casagrande. Michael Casagrande, he is a senior sports writer for AOL.com or for AL.com. AL.com. I think he's missing the S. ALS.com. I believe this guy might be special. Michael Casagrande is a WKU grad, Western Kentucky. Shout out to the Hilltoppers. This is not your finest moment. This guy says Alabama's now added 4 players from the transfer portal. And the rankings of each, according to On3, are, and he puts out the 4 rankings. Now, the reason I say this isn't his finest moment is he should not be spreading this propaganda. There is no way in the world C.J. Dippre is the 31st best player in the transfer portal. C.J. Dippre might have been the 31st best player on Maryland. He was a backup tight end at Maryland. He was not the starting tight end. And they want to praise him because he was getting offers from Ohio State and Alabama, and he chose to go to Alabama. But if you need a reality check, let me show you guys something. Maryland football stats. And I've seen the tape, so let's not go there. Oh, Rico, you're just what is it? What do they call me? A box score scout. Nah, bro, I'm a realist. The coaches figured it out. The coaches put these guys on the field, and they said, look, receiving Corey Dykes, right here. Corey Dykes is the second leading receiver at Maryland. C.J. Dippre is the second tight end on the list. He's 5th down here. 30 receptions, 314 yards, 10 yards a catch. But here's the trick. C.J. Dippre is a sophomore, 6'5", 260 from Scranton, PA. Shout out to the office. I think this guy works at a paper company. And Corey Dykes is 6'2", 220. He's the receiving tight end. This is the best tight end at Maryland. Now, if he hit the transfer portal and you want to say he's the 31st guy, then let's go. You want to say he's the top tight end in the transfer portal, let's go. But he didn't transfer because he's starting. The guy not starting, the guy looking for playing time, C.J. Dippre, hit the transfer portal. And now, magically, he's the 31st best player in the portal. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Tresman Marshall couldn't even play at Georgia. And I know Georgia fans wanted to convince you that their entire bench is NFL worthy, that they are NFL deep at every position. We got... Hey, calm down. Sit down. I apologize. My dog is amped. She's upset about somebody in the backyard. I really apologize. Don't make me turn off this mic. Sit down. So nonetheless, what I was saying is Tresman Marshall, this is not an NFL guy. 72? No, guys. No, it doesn't work that way. I just saw their best running back get drafted in the 7th round. That tells you every other guy in that running back room, as of today, is not an NFL football player. You got to study this stuff. But this list is gross. The list is gross. I don't like it. Hey, and I let him know I don't like it. I wrote underneath here. I said, these are some uninformed rankings. I bet he doesn't write me back. I bet he doesn't want the... Hey, he don't want the smoke, bro. He doesn't want the smoke. All right, I'm going to go back to the chat. I'm sure you guys ain't got much to say. If you got questions, anything, let it go now. And then we'll keep moving before I get to the rest of the transfer portal. Chat, I'm behind, but what about Connor Gilbreth? There's nothing about Connor Gilbreth. I understand you guys come in here and want to have a talk about every player that gets an offer from Colorado, but that's not how it works. There's a ton of guys that get offers and they don't commit to Colorado. So I'm not going to sit here every single day and waste hours upon hours talking about players because they got an offer from Colorado. I already talked about Connor Gilbreth at length. I said he's from a JUCO, a former offensive tackle turned tight end. He's got offers from other schools, and he's contemplating his options. Now, when he commits, we can get excited, and I'll make a video about it. And that's it. There's nothing else to it. Should have never been allowed. Zion's correct. Zion's talking about women competing with women and men competing with men. Yep. What do you think about the Miami Hurricanes and their chance in the ACC? I think they're going 6-6. I talked about this the other night. I don't think they have a chance outside of, competing for a decent season and doubling their win total. These guys are not going to be anywhere near the top of the ACC. It's just not happening. Shout out to Lawrence Collins. Every time I see it, always telling me I'm the plug. I appreciate him. Georgia is based solely on defense. That offense is mediocre at best. Zion, this is very true. They do have a unicorn at tight end, but the vast majority of their players are not NFL caliber on the offensive side of the ball. This is a fact. It's not subjective. It's actual fact. And we'll talk about all the wide receivers leaving that program because Dominic Blaylock left yesterday, right? Hey, you know what? I'll just talk about it right now. When you see a guy like Dominic Blaylock transferring outside of Georgia, and then they give me A.D. Mitchell's backstory of why he transferred out. A.D. Mitchell, I got an insider source, tells me A.D. Mitchell transferred out. That baby lives in Tennessee, not Texas. That's what somebody told me. I don't know how factual that is. That's why I didn't put it in a video. But I'll tell you guys right now, I think players want to leave because they see they're not getting thrown the ball. You know what's the most frustrating thing as a wide receiver? Not getting thrown the ball. Running routes and no one throwing you the ball. They keep checking down to running backs and hitting tight ends. Now, Monken, that was his offense. Okay. Mike Bobo's going to do the same thing. He's not going to change a damn thing. They're going to be as boring as they've ever been. They're going to be check down kings. And it's frustrating to wide receivers. When you go look at, and I'll pull it up. I'll help you guys out here. When you go look at recruiting classes, let me pull this up right here. Let's go football, recruiting. Let's go to player rankings, and I'll shrink myself again. And if you're looking at the player rankings for football, and you go to 2023, this doesn't look like us. This looks like basketball. Football recruiting player rankings. Excuse me for a second. I'm like, that's Duncanville. I know they got a hell of a basketball team. All right. So when you look at this, and we'll max the screen here. No big deal. And you go to 2023, and you go to a position group like wide receiver. And here they all are. This is 2023. Look, they're going SC, Oregon. I got 3 of the top 10 going to Ohio State. 3 of the top 10 going to Ohio State. 2 in the top 10 going to SC. I got a guy going to Texas. Where's the Georgia? There's another Texas. The first Georgia kid is down here in Tyler Williams. And he's going to learn real quick when he gets there. They don't throw to wide receivers. But he's going to learn the same thing all these guys know. How are you winning national titles and you're not getting one of the top wide receivers? And these guys are getting multiple wide receivers. Multiple. Not interested in your school in the slightest. Where's the next one from Georgia? 30? Going to Texas to get him? Okay. And then 47. I'm letting you know now. By this time, Ohio State's already got 5 different wide receivers. There's teams out there that are getting receivers, and it's because they don't throw to receivers. They don't do it. And the fans don't care. We're winning national titles is what they tell me. But when you go to NCAA receiving leaders, and you pull up the list from last year alone, look for the schools. Look at the schools of receivers. You see Ohio State right here. You're going to see Washington right here, Washington right here. Multiple from the same school. You know what you're not going to see? When you finally do see Georgia at 40, it's Brock Bowers. It's not even a wide receiver. It's not even a wide receiver. Matter of fact, spelled Georgia wrong. You go to Georgia football stats, and you go to see who they're throwing the ball to. Number 1 receiver, Brock Bowers. I don't blame you. Throw him the rock. You got Ladd McConkey, and you don't have another receiver till Marcus Rosemary St. Jack. Okay, so St. Jack down here is your second leading receiver on the team. 29 receptions, bro. 29 receptions. Do you guys understand? Georgia doesn't throw to wide receivers. 29. They played 15 games this year. That's less than 2 receptions a game. I don't care how well you spread out the ball. I don't care how you spread out. Arian Smith is the fastest player on Georgia's team. He gets 7 catches. And now you know why Dominic Blaylock hit the transfer portal. 15 receptions. The most receptions of another receiver is 30. And these guys are all transferring out. They're saying, the hell with this. Hey, get me the hell out of here. They're cut and sling. And you don't believe me? What happened in 2021 after they won the national title? Who's their leading receiver? Brock Bowers again. So Jermaine Burton said, the hell with it. I'm out of here. And everybody laughs. Everybody, oh, well, he went to Bama and we want another title without him. He doesn't care. He's trying to get exposure and get to the league. He's tired of getting 26 receptions. Adonai Mitchell, gone. Went to Texas. 29 receptions. Nobody's getting more than 2 catches a game. Except for running backs and Ladd McConkey. So when you see your top receivers 2 years in a row leave in the transfer portal, that's a real thing, guys. It's a real problem. That's a trend. You think Florida just magically went 8-5 after Tebow left? Or were there holes, or were there problems with the roster and the team, and they just ignored it because they had Tim Tebow, because they're winning national titles? Georgia's got a problem right now, and it's wide receivers leaving. Wide receivers are leaving that team. The cupboard's bare, but nobody cares because they won 2 national titles. Well, guess what's on the horizon? An 8-5 season some days, real soon. You start losing coordinators. You do so well, you lose coordinators. What do you think happened at Florida? They lost coordinators. So you lose Monken to the NFL. Oh, Mike Bobo. Hey, check out Mike Bobo's track record at Auburn in 2019. Stop quoting me them AJ Green stats. Oh, look what he did with AJ Green. Show me AJ Green on this roster. And this is why the leading receiver at Georgia can be a 2-star, 3-star kid in Ladd McConkey. It can just be any average little dude down the street. Because they're not getting 5-star caliber wide receivers. They're not getting playmakers. And when you miss on a wide receiver, Let's say you get a 5-star wide receiver and he doesn't work out. It's an amazing feeling because you can make him a DB. You can still put him on special teams. You still have that talent all around you. They're not getting that. They're getting second-tier athletes. Go look at the recruiting classes, guys. Study it. Did Georgia get any of the top 10 players in the state of Georgia this year? Did they? I can tell you they didn't. And you know why I know they didn't? Because when you go, you know what, I shouldn't have gone this route. Let me go this route. When you go and you look at player rankings, you know what's happening in these living rooms when they're recruiting these kids? You know what they're saying to the state of Georgia kids? You go to look at the state of Georgia. Go to 2023. Oh, we got to redo the state again. Shout out to 24/7 for having a substandard website. That's poor programming, by the way. Here we go. State of Georgia. 2023. How are you missing out on Caleb Downs, Vic Burley, Justice Haynes? You get another tight end? You want me to get excited about Lawson Lucky? Another tight end? I'm telling you, in the state of Georgia, they get 4 of the top. They got 4 of the top 40. They got 4 of the top 40. They literally got 4 players in the top 40, 5 in the top 50. So who cleaned house in Georgia? I don't know. You see Clemson and Alabama? Keep looking for Clemson and Alabama. Look at Clemson. Cleaning house in this state. They don't even belong. Alabama's here. Don't tell me these players aren't good. Clemson cleaned house in the state of Georgia this year. How do you sell the program? Hey, man, we put guys in the NFL. We throw our guys the ball. It's a problem. And it's going to keep happening. They got to go international. They got to go multi-state recruiting. They got to go find a running back in San Diego. Good luck. Just saying. So shout out to Dominic Blaylock for recognizing that he's being underutilized and leaving the program. Shout out to him and to Donnie Mitchell. I'm cool with it. It is what it is. And congratulations. So where did Blaylock go? He goes to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech. Go play for Brent Key. Right? You guys know who the quarterback's coach is at Georgia Tech? It's a guy you maybe heard of him. His name is Chris Winkie, Heisman Trophy winner, former Florida State quarterback. Chris Winkie is the reason all these kids are showing up, man. You go sit down with Chris Winkie. I think he's 48. I don't know how old Chris Winkie is. One of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL history, by the way. I think he went 0-18 as a starter. Can I look that up? Chris Winkie. How do you spell Winkie? Chris Winkie. Oh, they got him down as an American head coach. NFL record. Chris Winkie. What was his win total? He only had 2 wins in his entire career. Winning the first game and then losing the rest. Oh my goodness, Chris Winkie, man. Oh, what a great college quarterback. The man was 30. It's impressive. I love it. All right, so sorry for that random tangent, just going ham. Let me go back to see what I wanted to talk about that's trending. Give me a second here. This one's a big deal to me. I hope you guys enjoy this one, and then I'll get back to the chat. They put out a picture. MMA Uncensored put out this picture on Twitter today, and it said, "Do you spot any differences in 2 years?" And it's Conor McGregor. Two pictures of Conor McGregor. And the big difference I spot, and I'll let you guys guess in chat, but it's the damn Barry Bonds, bro. It's the Barry Bonds complex. Do you guys know what the Barry Bonds complex is? The man's head grew, okay? Your head doesn't grow. If you guys didn't know, as a baby, your head is at about the 90th percentile when you're born. It only grows another 10%. Your head is the size it is. Your head's not supposed to grow anymore. But if you start taking HGH, what's that? HGH, hormone growth, was it? HGH, dude, why am I struggling with what it stands for? Hormone growth, right? HGH. What am I missing? I'm drawing a blank right now. That never happens to me. Growth hormone. Oh, that's what it is. What's the first H? Human. Dude, what's wrong with me? I'm a robot, bro. I'm a robot. Human. Thank you guys. Whew. Oh, just drew a blank. So look at, he's taking HGH. He's taking the clear. He's doing something. The man's head has grown, and this is not right, man. You can't do this. But he's a millionaire upon millionaire. You guys saying Peyton Manning's head grew? Check this out. If you do Barry Bonds head growth, there's an animated story somewhere. Here it is. This has to be it. It's hilarious. And it just keeps doing this over and over. Don't touch the mouse. Just let it go. And it just shows you his head goes from skinny to just fat. And there's an equipment manager that testified under oath. And he said he used to hand out all of the locker room gear, all the headgear and everything in the locker, the jerseys and everything. He would stock all the lockers. And at one point, during Barry Bonds' tenure at San Francisco, he was told, hey, he needs a bigger hat. And the hat size changed. Now look, guys, I've been in the military over 20 years. We wear hats, and I know my size of my hat. I'm telling you right now, I wear the same size hat that I wore when I joined, okay? So I don't want to hear about muscle or anything. I joined, I was 6 feet tall, 170 pounds. I'm now 6 foot, 230 pounds today, and I'm telling you, I got the same size head. But apparently Conor McGregor and Barry Bonds got these heads growing like this, and we need to put a stop to this. We can't be okay with this. Jose Canseco came out years ago and flipped on his fellow MLB brothers. A ton of guys have. Heads aren't supposed to grow. So you've been 7.5 for 22 years. That's what I'm talking about. I've been 7 and maybe, 7 1/4, 7 3/4, 7 3/5. I don't remember what I just got to go look at it real quick, and I know, hey, this is it. It's never grown, never changed. So shout out to Conor McGregor for his head growing. He obviously paid for some hair implants. That's cool. He got that comb over going pretty good. He fixed that up a little bit so his hair is a little more, a little bit. But then obviously he gained some weight. He's ready to fight. This man used to fight at much lighter weights, and I think he's walking around at 200 pounds. UFC won't make an issue about that. Of course. It's a horse, of course. All right, let's go down. Let's go down to chat real quick. I think I can see chat while I talk to you guys now, but I want to double check. Rico, George is based solely on defense. Yes, this is true. Hold on, let me blow myself back up. I apologize, guys. I'm still working on all the graphics here. This gentleman says, and I quote, if I can put it in the chat here, I'll try to do that so you guys can read it. SMU had a very strong transfer portal. Do you think alumni stepping it up in prep to join the Pac-12? No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think in preparation of joining the Pac-12, that's great, but you cannot take away from the greatness of Rhett Lashley as a recruiter. What Rhett Lashley's doing in the transfer portal, unless you're saying all the players are coming because of NIL money. Let me just stop right there. Whoa, I had a whole nother idea. You're saying boosters donated money to boost the program because they're winning recruiting battles, right? They're winning transfer portal battles. But I'm going to go out there and tell you that, let me go drop it in the screen here for you guys. When I look at the transfer portal class from SMU, and it's very strong, it's in my top 10. But when I look at the transfer portal class from SMU, this is UMass, but let me go to SMU real quick. They're in the American this year, right? They're in the American. Yep, they've always been. All right, and if you go look at the transfers coming in from SMU, they got Keyshawn Mills. They didn't have to pay much for that. This is a kid coming home from Texas. This is recruiting your home state, wanting to come back home and play for your school. Cam Robertson, leaving North Texas, leaving and wanting to be a part of something better. Now, maybe he took the bag, but he's just going down the street from North Texas to SMU. It's a preference thing. He's from Texas. Kobe Wilson, now that's a good linebacker. 2 years of eligibility left. Leaving Temple, he was good on Temple. Temple can't afford to be losing players like this. So he's coming over to SMU. That's a good transfer. But here you go. Ja'Kai Clark from Grayson, Georgia, went to Miami coming out of high school, has no business going to SMU. But Rhett Lashley, the head coach, was just the offensive coordinator at Miami 2 years ago. Right? So Rhett Lashley was the offensive coordinator at Miami. He has a pipeline to Miami. He knows the Miami kids. He knows kids from Florida. And they all want to come play for Rhett Lashley. He's got some pull there. So that's how you get this pull right here. This is great. Now, Alex Padilla coming over from Iowa. They're going to all say Alex Padilla played in a terrible offense at Iowa, and that's why his numbers are bad. But I've watched Alex Padilla, and this is the worst signing in the transfer portal for SMU. This man shouldn't have got a scholarship at SMU, as far as I'm concerned. This is not an upgrade in any way. Just get a kid down the street, get a preferred walk-on. Go get R.J. Martinez out of Baylor or NAU, right, when he was at NAU. Go get somebody watch the state championships in Texas this year and pick one of them quarterbacks. I don't care which one. Better than Alex Padilla. Just letting you know. Punter doesn't matter, but there's Joker, Romello Brenton. He goes by Joker, coming over from Miami again. So you got 2 Miami kids coming to SMU. It's not about the money. It's Rhett Lashley. Okay? Logan Parr, staying in the state from Texas, leaving Texas, but he's staying in the state. Just going from Texas. I can't start for the Longhorns. I can start for SMU, right? Jalen Davis Robinson, corner, another Texas kid. So you leave in LSU, can't start at LSU. I'm going to go start at SMU. And he was only at LSU for 1 year, and he redshirted, and he's here. PJ Williams, you get kicked off the team. This is a former 5-star guy. I know they got 4-star, but this is a stud of a player. You get kicked off the team. Why does it say offensive tackle? That's fine. But he's at A&M, gets kicked out of that all-time great class, and you stay in the state. There you go. Now, Chris Megginson. This ain't about money. He goes by Ghost. Chris Megginson, leaving Liberty. This is starting corner. He started like 30 games over there. Chris Megginson's only coming to SMU because the SMU defensive coordinator was the defensive coordinator or the secondary coach at Liberty just last year. So they're all following their coach. You think all these Liberty guys just randomly picking SMU? It's not money. They're following their secondary coach. Ahmed Walker, great linebacker, coming over from Warner Robins. That's another Georgia kid. L.J. Johnson, leaving A&M, staying in the state, Texas. Everybody here has a justifiable reason for choosing SMU, and it ain't about the money. All right, getting C.J. Sanders to come back home to Texas after being at Fresno State. Right. Heron White, Texas kid. He was in Missouri. He was playing at Missouri. He was doing fine. He's a graduate transfer. Coming home, one last year. Let me go start, man. I'm 6'7", 300 pounds. Let me show the NFL what I can do. Keyshawn Smith, leaving. There it is. You got this pipeline. Miami. Jordan Miller, Miami. Elijah Roberts, Miami. Jalen Knighton, great running back, Miami. Look at that, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys coming from Miami. And guess what? This isn't even the whole class because On3 doesn't know what they're doing. Neither does 24/7. There's other guys. John McGill, leaving Stanford, coming back home. Hey, he's got 2 years of eligibility left. He's a Texas kid from Coppell. Right? Charles Woods, Texas kid, leaving West Virginia, coming back home, graduate transfer. All this is just people who want to come back home. All the Miami kids want to play for Rhett Lashley, and all the Liberty kids want to play for their defensive coordinator. Now check this out. When you go to 24/7 and you go look at the transfer portal and you click it, one player that's missing, at least there's probably more than one, but one player that's missing from the SMU class on the On3, and this is why I study this, because you would never know. You would never know who's missing. You would just think that was the whole class. But if you come over here and you look at SMU and you start looking, these are people who left. That's cool, and I can talk about them some other time. But you look at who they gained. You're just looking for a red horse over here. Red horse. And as you look for red horses, you see Chris Megginson here. And you, okay. Isaac Pearson was there. Yep. Boom. Load more players. Hiron White. L.J. Johnson, P.J. Williams. Keep looking. And it's not there. They're missing one. They're also missing one. That's crazy. That's a little weird. Because Rocket Rahimi's... Come on, sweetie. Rocket Rahimi's coming as well. Ash, sit down. Rocket Rahimi's coming, and he's a safety from Liberty. A starting free safety. I guess they don't... These websites don't know what they're doing. I was hoping one of them would have it. They don't even have it. But I know he's coming. So there you go. It's not booster driven. It's coach driven. It's relationship driven. You got to give them some credit there. Okay. Let's go back to the chat. See what you guys are talking about. Sorry about that. Rico, I'm checking in from TikTok. Hey, Bay at George. Good to see you, brother. Thank you very much. Georgia soon won't even get a top 100 receiver at that rate. Yeah, well, no, they got to do a couple things. They got to get a good quarterback. They got to get a good offensive coordinator. It's not the end of the world. And yes, they keep getting great tight ends. You keep feed the unicorn. So I should take the under on Georgia. I don't know what the over-under is. Winky, Tech offensive coordinator, came from Georgia. Yes, he did. Chris Winky was horrible in the NFL. Yeah, he's a great coach, though. Winky wasn't allowed to date the freshman at FSU. He wasn't that old. There's some other guys. Roids, human horse growth. Okay, there we go. HGH. So what's with Peyton Manning has a big head? Okay. Them roids worked. It's magic for Connor. There you go. Wow, 7.5 years for 22 years. There. Who's winning the national championship this year, Rico? So, Julius, I don't ever try to guess that kind of shit. I don't try to predict it, man. I'm not a fortune teller. That's not my bag. I don't ever try to guess who's going to win the national title. It's not for me. So, ain't got it for you, brother. UFC won't make an issue about it. Connor is the cash cow for Dana White. I believe so. So, he's going to be fighting Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is the cash cow as well. I want everybody to understand that Michael Chandler is the cash cow. And that's why he gets to fight Conor McGregor. That's why he got paid $1 million on his last fight. What are your thoughts on the Heisman odds? Well, let's pull them up. He is Heisman odds. 2023, right? And let's go. Heisman odds. Caleb Williams is the favorite. Michael Penix Jr. is second. Drake Mays, they're all there. Jake May, Jordan Travis, terrible odds. I don't like it. Kyle McCord, they're just assuming he's going to be a starter. Okay. J.J. McCarthy's a little low, if you ask me. They're going to be undefeated. Bo Nix. Okay. Joe Milton, Cade Klubnik. Yeah, they just pick every quarterback. Pick every quarterback on every major team. If I'm you, I put $100 on Quinn Ewers. If I was you and you were me, I'm putting $100 on Quinn Ewers. I'm putting 100 on Quinn. Put 100 on Drew Aller. At these rates right here, yeah, put 100 on these dudes. And it don't hurt. Put $20 on Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, this is trash. This is trash. You want some, what are the odds of some other players? I don't like betting, bro. I'm going to get away from it all. It's a quarterback position. Okay, it's a quarterback award. If you think Marvin Harrison at 4,000, that would make the assumption that Kyle McCord is throwing all the passes to him. They're assuming Kyle McCord's gonna have a great year, a better year than C.J. Stroud apparently. Not doing this, bro. We're not doing this game here. Just go drop a stack on Caleb Williams and call it a day. Repeat winner. I highly doubt it. I don't recommend gambling on any platform, just so you guys know. I don't get down like that. It's not for me. So, relax, sweetie. I'm right here. So let's go ahead and hit the transfer portal. I think I hit everything that I wanted to hit trending-wise. So I'm going to pull up the transfer portal here and see what we got that we need to do updates on. Let me hit refresh real quick to see what happens. And you know me, I'm just going to wing it and start talking to you guys. I'm going to stay small in the corner here. Let me try to fix my screen. And we'll go from there. So, give me a second. Apologies all the way around. Let me double check the browser. Yeah, I got nothing that I want to talk about. So, 24/7 Sports has a little thing a little different. Let me explain to you guys how this works. So, if you go to 24/7 Sports and you try to look at the transfer portal and you click on latest, okay, all you're going to see are the latest people to jump into the portal. They keep them in chronological order when they entered the portal. But this doesn't tell you anything about who's going to a particular school. It just tells you who's leaving. I study who's leaving all the time, but I never talk about it because it's not worth talking about. I don't get excited about rumor. I like to talk about people when they commit to schools. But I do study them once they enter here. So, like Andre Sam, leaving Tulane, and it says 100% to Miami. Well, that's great. Okay? But Andre Sam, he's not a two-star guy. Don't ever believe he's a two-star guy. This kid right here started at McNeese State. And McNeese State has a pipeline to Marshall. If you guys didn't know this, McNeese State has a pipeline to Marshall. And they got a guy named Pierce that just left McNeese State. And he's going to be not a household name. He's going to be a nightmare for people in the Sun Belt. But McNeese State, Andre Sam was at McNeese State killing it. And he goes to Marshall. And he plays 1 year, and he does great. And he parlays that into transferring to Tulane. Transfers to Tulane this year after their amazing season. He goes there in the winter, he transferred. And he's back in the portal, and now he's headed to Miami. This man is getting paid. But here's the thing. He is a 4 or 5 star talent. He's an explosive kickoff returner. He's a great defensive back. I think he makes a lot of sense to Miami. This is a great get. So you could sit here and scroll down this and try to find more people with their commitments on the far right. It's going to rarely happen. You can sort them by committed, but this is not how I like to search the transfer portal. This is not it, because a lot of these guys, they've been committed for days on end, and you just are just sitting here waiting and trying to scroll through all the names over and over and over. Don't do it. Just leave it alone. Okay? Seriously, just leave it alone. Don't do that. I go to Twitter. There's a couple pages I follow on Twitter. If you go up here and you click in search, you're just going to see Rivals. You got Rivals. You got 24/7, and then this guy's page right here. Now, I follow this page. It's not an official page. He got a fake emblem on here. This guy has nothing to do with ESPN, but does have every damn commitment. So it keeps me up to date. Now, Finn Hogan, Central Michigan. Leaving Central Michigan, going to Bowling Green. This looks like a lateral move. It's in the MAC. He's going from one school to the other. But Finn Hogan is 6'5". Okay, 6'5", 215 or so. And when him going to Bowling Green, if you guys didn't know this, there's this receiver at Bowling Green. He was 6'3". His name was Bowden. And Tyron Bowden was at Bowling Green, 6'3". And while he's at Bowling Green, he grows to be 6'7". He hits a growth spurt. And he's now 6'7". And he just transferred in the winter to Arkansas. He went to go take Knox's place. He's going over there to go be a goal line threat. So Arkansas got themselves a 6'7" wide receiver. And then Bowling Green's just left out without a tall target. So now they go and get this guy, Finn Hogan. Now Bowling Green, they got a quarterback coming in, Connor Bazelak. I'm not excited about him. He just left Indiana. And Connor Bazelak is not good. But he'll be the Bowling Green starting quarterback, I promise you. So, yeah, shout out to this kid. He got his chance. Omar Daniels, DB, leaving K-State. So he's been at K-State for 2 years. He has about 4 tackles. I think he has 2 tackles each year. I like Omar Daniels. Omar Daniels is from Colquitt County in Georgia. If you don't know, that's a decent place to be from. It's a good school down in the Waycross area. Going to Georgia Tech, he's coming back home. But out of high school, Georgia Tech didn't offer him. Nope. So he went all the way to K-State. And he tried his best. It didn't work out. But he's coming home to Georgia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech has one good corner. I want to say Miles Sims is his name. Miles with a M-Y-L-E-S. Miles Sims is the other corner, and he's good. And then there's another corner that's open. Brent Key is upgrading this roster completely, the new head coach. And the thing about Brent Key, he's coming over as an offensive line coach. He's been an offensive line coach at Alabama. You know all those Alabama offensive linemen that go to the league? All those offensive linemen at Alabama that are NFL caliber? Yeah, Brent Key is the one who recruited them. He's great. He coached them, developed them. And he knows how to win these recruiting battles. So for him coming over to Georgia Tech, you just see stud after stud after stud. You're going, I'm going to go to Georgia Tech. I'm going to go to Georgia Tech. They just got credibility. It's great. And now you go get a kid, bring him back home, bring him back to Georgia. It's a Georgia kid. And you have 4 other guys competing for that other corner spot. You don't care. You just bring in another one. Say, hey, I saw the 4 of you guys competing in the spring. You're not good enough. Give me Omar Dango. So shout out to this young man for finally bringing it back home. Shout out to Colquitt County. They put out some good players. And I hope kids from Georgia start to stay and go to Georgia Tech. Stop shunning the school. It's a Power 5 school. I know academically it's tough, but it's still a Power 5 school. Isaiah Paul, Washington State. Now, he never played for Washington State. Isaiah Paul transferred. He actually went with Cameron Ward, and his head coach. They both transferred up to Washington State last year. The starting quarterback at Washington State. So he came up there as a package deal. There was a bunch of guys from Incarnate Word who went up there. Who's the little receiver? I'm forgetting his name. He just was it Robert Farrell. Farrell was in the draft this year. He didn't get drafted, but he's a little Wes Welker looking dude. He's a beast. I like him a lot. But then he broke his ankle in August, and it kind of set him off. But anyways, Isaiah Paul comes up to Incarnate Word. This is a guy who played great. Now he's dealing with some injuries. But he's going to go up to Washington State, and I'm like, yo, he's going to Washington State. And then I saw him jump in the portal. He jumped in the portal in winter. That's what got him up there. He's coming a year after everybody. And then I saw him back in the portal again this spring. I'm like, oh, he couldn't start at Washington State? Well, that sucks because he was trying. Coming up from the FCS, he was chasing his dream. I was dead wrong. He could start at Washington State. He decided to go to UCF, Brevard County. And so shout out to him. I put up a story about this because UCF got 2 good linebackers in the last week now, right? They got Breon Davis from Georgia, and now they got Isaiah Paul from Washington State. 2 really senior linebackers, some really tough dudes. And I'm like, man, who's the linebacker coach at UCF? Oh, it's Ernie Sims. Ernie Sims, former number 1 recruit in the history, the only linebacker that's ever been the number 1 recruit in the history of recruiting. Every year, there's always one guy at the top. Every year, there's only one number 1. And only one time has it been a linebacker, and it was Ernie Sims. I think it was 2002. Ernie Sims. What you guys got to know about Ernie Sims is he played running back and linebacker at the smallest level in Florida, single A. But in the 8th grade, he played varsity football for them, and he won the state title. Just like the kid out of Thompson this year in Alabama. But he won the state title in the 8th grade. And then he won 3 more state titles. He won 4 state titles in a row in Florida. And then his senior year, they didn't win the state title. And that sucked. But he had an NFL career. He did well. You know, his first pick, or he's like a 6th pick in the first round. 6th or 8th. He was drafted in the first round. And he had an NFL career. Ended it with the Cowboys. And now he's coaching. He's coaching linebackers. He was at South Florida initially. Well, he was a strength and conditioning coach before that. But he was at South Florida as a linebackers coach and defense coordinator. And now he's at UCF, linebackers coach. And he's getting good players in the transfer portal. So now when you start seeing good linebackers transfer to UCF, understand where it's coming from. It's Ernie Sims. Shout out to him. So that's pretty cool. Coastal Carolina getting a DB. Gerard Cameron, he's committed to UMass. UMass is getting transfers from anywhere. Remember that. UMass is a beast. Now, Gerard Cameron only spent 1 year at Coastal Carolina. So what's crazy about this is Jamie Chadwell recruits him to come up to Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers. They wear this color, teal. And he goes up there. Now, he's 5'8", 160. But he's got Florida speed, okay? He's from St. Thomas Aquinas. This dude is fast. But he's 5'8", 160. So he redshirts this year at Coastal. Then his coaching staff and everybody who recruited him leaves and goes to Liberty. And they've been giving offers to everybody. They didn't give him one. It's crazy. Liberty has offers. Liberty has scholarships available. And this guy didn't get one. So he has 4 years of eligibility left. And he's going all the way up. All the way up to UMass to go play for Don Brown, who's a great defensive coordinator. But coming out of high school, Gerard Cameron, back in 2021, before his senior year, he had an offer to Marshall, and he had an offer to Texas A&M. And you know, I tell you guys all the time, when I see a kid with a Power 5 offer and then nothing but Group of 5 offers, I always see them take that Power 5 offer. And they shouldn't, because they end up on the bench and then they end up in the transfer portal. But this young man actually didn't go to A&M, didn't go to Marshall. He went to the Chanticleers. He went to an up-and-coming top 25 team, with a great quarterback and Grayson McCall. And he thought this program was on a trajectory to be great. And it was. But then Hugh Freeze gets the job at Auburn. Now Liberty needs a new head coach. They go get Jamie Chadwell. It's a domino effect, right? So shout out to him going to UMass. UMass getting another transfer. Now, I will say this. This is their 4th Florida high school player at UMass. 4th Florida guy headed up to UMass. And their 4th redshirt freshman. They got 4 guys from the class of 2022. So there's 4 kids out there, went to different schools, redshirted, and then said, I'm going to UMass. So they're getting these transfers. And after next year's rule, if you guys didn't know, the rule changes next year. You can't transfer again. If you're an underclassman and you try to transfer again and you're not a graduate transfer, you will not have your waiver approved. They will not approve your waiver. So you won't be able to play immediately. You have to sit out a year. So you get 1 free transfer. Everybody gets a free transfer. It's cool. You can transfer again if your coach gets hired or fired. If your coach leaves, you got 30 days to decide whether or not you want to enter the transfer portal. That's another free transfer. And then you got a graduate transfer. Those are the only ways you can play immediately the following season. But if you transfer after your freshman year because you didn't like it or you didn't have you're homesick or whatever, and then you try to transfer again and you're not a graduate transfer, not happening. No more of this transferring multiple times. They're not going to allow it. So they already made that clear. That's the rule going into effect after this recruiting cycle, so the start of next season. So just so you know. So there's Jared Cameron. Let me try to pull up this chat. We'll just keep going. The heck with it. I was going to pull up the chat, but it is what it is. Colby Smith, going from Auburn to Troy. Now, I don't know if Colby Smith can play football. The man is 6'8", 300 pounds. He's huge. So he's a project, and they wanted to keep him in the state. But the reality is I've never seen him play. 6'8", I say 300 pounds. I think he's 320. But I want to show you guys something. If we go back to... Oh, we'll leave that up. We'll leave that there. Let me do this. Oh, that's our chat. That's not good. Let me pull that out of there. And I'll get back to you guys in the chat here in a bit. Let's go to Auburn recruiting class because Colby was a part of the 2021 class. Auburn recruiting class. Colby Smith leaving the team 2021, I think. And that was a class, obviously, not with Hugh. Yeah, here we go. When you look at this class, I'm not joking. 18 guys. I'm just going to double check it. 3 of them are still on the team. 3. I count 3. Bridges, still on the team. Langlo, still on the team. And Hunter, Jarquez Hunter, the running back. Where's Hunter at? Jarquez Hunter, still on the team. 3 guys still on the team. Everybody else is transferred out. How? How? And this was supposedly the 18th ranked class in the country. If I go over here to more and I hit the class calculator, that's what this is, class calculator, and I just start removing everybody who's not there anymore. This is hilarious. They got a score of 46, bro. They got a score of 46 in their recruiting. 46. So you go to football team rankings. And you go back to 2021. Auburn has a 46 score. Look at these scores over here. 327. Scroll down till you see 46. Because that's where Auburn's at now. And then when everybody tells me, hey, they're going to bounce back and they're going to be great, I just wonder, Like, what are you guys talking about? 46. Oh, I found it right here. They're in the range of Pennsylvania, Eastern Washington, Texas State, and Lamar, bro. There's only 133 FBS teams. Back then, there was 129. They're behind all these teams. Yale and Princeton. Isn't that remarkable? Just something to think about. Just some food for thought. UConn transfer wide receiver Keelan Marin committed to East Carolina. So now, Keelan Marin's a beast, bro. He got hurt, but in 2021, he led UConn in receiving. Going to ECU, I don't blame him. This is a Georgia kid, by the way. He broke his collarbone this year. Medical red shirt, definitely on the horizon. Probably going to have 3 years of eligibility left. ECU just lost two 1,000-yard receivers to the NFL, or two NFL wide receivers, right? And Isaiah Winstead, he just did that whole release on Twitter about, look at my moves. I'm 6'4", 220, and I move like this. So he's in camp with the 49ers. And then C.J. Johnson, I don't know how he didn't get drafted. That's Anquan Bolden 2.0. He's in camp with the Seahawks right now. And unfortunately, him and Matt Landers are probably going to be fighting for a spot. But I can't believe that Keelan Marin's going to go to ECU. He's getting his shot. More power to him. But when you hear he had offers from BYU, that's Keaton Slovis. Could have went to Keaton Slovis. Could have went to UNLV, go play for Barry Odom, former Arkansas head coach. Could have went to Eastern Michigan. Okay, probably not interested. Middle Tennessee, not interested. But UAB gave him an offer. Dude, UAB, Trent Dilfer, people need to go play for him. He's a good coach. Liberty gave him an offer because they give everybody an offer. Okay? And then JMU, they could have really used him. JMU has 12 transfers coming in, and they're great. Like, JMU could have really used him. But he's going to ECU, and ECU needs to reload at receivers. They probably still need one more. But that's a pretty good get for them. That's a pretty good get for him as well. It'll be a big deal. He's going to put up some numbers. He's a good kid. 6 foot, 200 pounds. I watched him play in high school. I think he's just a good player. So it is what it is. Tony Pierce. I owe you guys an answer on Tony Pierce. I'll probably talk about him tomorrow. Being a North Dakota State guy, I don't watch a lot of FCS football outside of the playoffs, so I need to go back and review all his film, all of it, and that's what I do. I didn't know he was in the portal because I don't see FCS portal moves. I only see FBS. I learn about players when they're at the FCS level and they transfer to the FBS. That's when I attack it and go learn about them. So this is one that Rico needs to know. I'll have an answer by tomorrow. Need to study him. So shout out to Norvell for getting another transfer. Just so you guys know, Mike Norvell's fucking crushing it at Colorado State. Quarterback Xavier Williams. Now this one is perplexing to me, but I hope he's ready to compete. So Charlotte transfer quarterback Xavier Williams has committed to UCF. So UCF, they already have their starter, right? John Rice Plumlee, the transfer from Ole Miss, dual threat quarterback. They already have him. He's there. Got it. Entrenched, going to start this year. And then you had Castellanos transfer out, go to Boston College. So they were like, hey, we need a backup quarterback. Well, there's a guy, Timmy McClain. He's a great high school quarterback, dual threat quarterback out of Florida. Like when he played high school football in Florida, Timmy McClain was the guy. And he went to South Florida initially, and he was going to be the starter at South Florida. He was going to be their future. He was their gem of their recruiting class. And then Jerry Bohannon, who was at Baylor, he just up and transferred. And Jerry Bohannon transfers to South Florida and takes the job from Timmy McClain. So now here's this Florida kid with a whole lot of talent. And he's like, well, I can't start here. So let me go transfer to UCF. And he goes to UCF. So Timmy McClain's already there. And this is why Castellanos jumps in the portal. Because Timmy McClain shows up and he can take that second string spot. And now it's musical chairs, bro. And now Xavier Williams says, I'm going to go over there and compete. Okay. You're going to compete. Good luck. Now, let me say this. Xavier Williams, also a Colquitt County kid. Also from Georgia. Local kid. I know him. Watched him play. When he started high school, he was 5'6", 130. I guess the theme of the show is growth spurt. He grew, and now he's 6'2", 205. And he can play some football. 3 years of eligibility left. He did start a game for Charlotte last year against Maryland. Watched it. I saw him play. He did well. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, I think, if I remember correctly. But he's a good player. It's just he's going to be battling it out with Timmy McClain for the starting position, not this year, but the next year. So UCF has 2 good quarterbacks. Xavier Williams and Timmy McClain. But that's a decent move. Not really going to talk about another FCS coming up to Temple. And this one's kind of funny to me. Chaden Perry was at Georgia Tech, transferred to College of the Canyons, played well, and now he's back to FIU. So now he's back to the FBS. Go for it. I already talked about these other guys at length on individual videos, so I'll stop there. So that's the transfer portal up to date. We just caught up. Before we close out the show, I'm going to go back to the chat. If you have a question, put it in chat. I will get to it. This is your time. This is now. Do not wait, or you will miss your shot. I always see questions as I'm departing, and it's like you guys could have asked them the whole time that I'm here. So let's talk, and if I need to answer and pull something up, we'll go from there. Let me go back up, and we'll see what's happening in chat. Ooh, you're a guy. Bo Nix does not belong on that list. Bo Nix is very good, and Bo Nix is going to be on an Oregon team that has a chance to be pretty good. Bo Nix plays great, guys. Bo Nix, and everybody who talks any smack about Bo Nix is in denial. Bo Nix as a freshman was the SEC Freshman of the Year. And in the next 2 years, he increased his touchdowns, decreased his interceptions. The fact that he had a coach in Brian Harsin that was so substandard that he had to get fired is not Bo Nix's fault. Bo Nix had Kenny Dillingham as his offensive coordinator at Auburn. And then they both went to Oregon, and they killed it. And it's not because they're in the Pac-12. It's because they had continuity, and they stayed together. Now Kenny Dillingham leaves. So now, how good is he? I don't know how good Bo Nix is without Kenny Dillingham. But I do know this. He got his brother. Bo Nix's brother just transferred to Oregon, right? Tez just transferred in from Troy. That's his literal brother. I know one's black, one's white, but they're adopted. But that's his brother. They grew up together. They have such continuity from high school. I'm telling you, man, Oregon's got a shot. Bo Nix is a good quarterback. I've watched the tape. I've watched it all. So there you go. How is Spencer Rattler on there? Well, he's going to be starting quarterback for South Carolina again. And for some reason, people believe in him to a certain extent. People ask me every day, is Spencer Rattler going to the league? And I'm like, why do we talk about this guy? I'll tell you why. He was the only 5-star quarterback coming out of his recruiting class. They shouldn't have gave out any 5-star quarterbacks that year, but they did. And he's the one. But he's not that guy. He is not him, if I can quote the kids. SMU, sorry if you answered it. I think you missed it. They've had a good transfer portal. Do you think the alumni is strapping up for transition? Okay, so I answered it at length, Campbell, so you're going to need to go back and watch it. Okay, I went in depth on their entire class and why they're going. It has nothing to do with money. Or the Pac-12. Hey, Poppy, how you doing? All right, shout out to you. UNC went 9-5 last year, lost talent, and they're projected 8.5 wins this year. I think the under is clear here, but curious about your thoughts. All right, Connor, let me go pull up the schedule. I can't just wing it. We got to see who they're playing. But let's go see who they're playing. It's UNC, right? And where's the ESPN one? It's so much cleaner. All right, so I hope you guys can see that. It is at the bottom of the screen. I can move it up. No, I can't. Let's get so smart in this. Come on now. Just be smarter than the average bear. So they're gonna lose to South Carolina. They're gonna beat Appalachian State. They got a coin toss against Minnesota. They're gonna beat Pittsburgh. They're gonna beat Syracuse. They're gonna have 3 wins at that point. I think they beat Virginia. How many wins? What's the over-under here? They got them 8.5. North Carolina. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take the under, I dare you. It looks like they can win 9 games. It really does. I understand they lost a ton of talent. They replaced it with some decent talent. They still have Drake May as senior Latin quarterback. They're favorable to win in a lot of these games. Have you seen their away games? Their away games are Pitt, Georgia Tech, Clemson and NC State. I think they can win 3 of those. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would stay away from that whole betting line to begin with. Shout out to Tyron Broden from Detroit. There you go. Shout out to you, Lauren. Lawrence be knowing, man. Lawrence knows some players. This guy, Lawrence Collins, knows some players. One of my friends plays on CMU's O-line, Keegan Smith. Oh, okay, there you go. From Michigan and watch a ton of CMU. Finn is a good receiver, not great to me. Yeah, exactly. Landon King committed to Utah. Yeah, I know. I talked about it on my live stream. I talked about it when they came to do the visit. I told you guys. Landon King will not be committing to Colorado. I said he's probably going to go to Utah because of the Kincaid. Because what happened in the draft with Kincaid, it's kind of hard to not sell that. They need tight ends, and they like that weapon. So I saw that in an instant, and I said the other option was Louisville. But it's definitely not Colorado. So I'm not surprised by it. I'll make a video on it. But it is what it is. Shout out to Ernie Sims, who was drafted by Matt Millen to the Lions. Correct. Matt Millen's out here drafting who he wants. Who was the best pickup this past weekend? And is there another recruit group this weekend? I don't know if there's another recruit group this weekend. I haven't checked or searched. The best pickup so far for me was Bishop, right? Bishop being a defensive tackle from Florida State, being the scout team player of the year, practicing hard, having 4 years of eligibility left, a huge body. I like Bishop. Arden Walker's good too, but Bishop. So Caleb Williams, or Utah quarterback, might win the Heisman. No, I don't think Cam Rising will be available. Cam Rising is injured. I don't think he's going to be available for the whole year. So no, that's not a thing. Caleb Williams, obviously, you're not going out on the limb there. We got that one. Their starting quarterback. Yes, where you been? When did he do that? He did it a while back. Who you got in the run for the Heisman? If I had to choose a Heisman, I'm going to go with a group of 5 player. So nobody else agrees with me. I'll go with Frank Harris at UTSA. Give me Frank Harris, UTSA. A group of 5 Heisman has not won the Heisman since 1990. I'll take it. Give me Frank Harris. He might end up in New York. Hey, man, if they beat Tennessee, you boys are in trouble. I'm just letting you know right now. Thoughts on Sims? No, but I think Ewers has a real shot. Thoughts on Sims at Nebraska? Oh, by the way, so somebody just wrote Drake May maybe. Wait, he tore his ACL in this year's Rose Bowl, so he's not playing. Yep. Drake May maybe. Drake May is going to have a new offensive coordinator. He just lost Josh Downs, and he lost his entire secondary. Drake May is going to have a difficult time. Dare I say a down year. But he led the team in rushing, so he can do a lot of things. But I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. Thoughts on Sims at Nebraska? And I mean that literally. I would not bet on it. Don't bet. Thoughts on Sims at Nebraska? He's good. He's known good. I mean, you see it here. Casey Thompson. Casey Thompson going to FAU, right? Because of Herman. Because of his old coach being at FAU, he goes and follows him over there. And now Casey Thompson had to leave Nebraska. Well, he's been injured, but Sims looks really good. Jeff Sims is, and look, there are players that were at that Georgia Tech team. Obviously, their coach gets fired, but that offense left a lot to be desired. When you look at Georgia Tech, look at it. Jahmyr Gibbs was on that team. And Sims had more rushing yards than Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs was 11th in the conference in rushing. They have a receiver. There's a receiver. Let me pull it up. Oh, no. Where am I going to go? There's a receiver that committed to North Carolina. It's North Carolina we're talking about. Let's click on North Carolina. Let me show you guys something. This is not how I want to do it. That's why this website is trash. That's why it's trash. I'm going to show you guys something. If my computer would stop, and I got really fast internet. I don't know, guys. Let's do this. We go here. Look at this. Former USF edge rusher Eddie Kelly going to Georgia Tech. Speak of the devil. Georgia Tech slipping the roster. They're doing something different nowadays, okay? They're not the old team they used to be. But the old team they used to have had so much talent on it, and they literally just wasted it. And I think Sims is in that boat. So when you look at a team like North Carolina, and you look at their transfers coming in, and you go, oh yeah, they got no weapons. They just lost Josh Downs and Antoine Green. But when you see Nate McCollum on film, 5'11", 185 from Georgia Tech, Nate McCollum right here, looks like Josh Downs. Looks like Josh Downs. And when you see Devontae Walker, 6'3", 175, one of the nation's leading receivers last year, coming over from Kent State. Kent State, 3 wide receivers. Dante Cephas, Devontae Walker, and Polk. All transferred and left this group of 5 team under Sean Lewis, under a great offensive coordinator, a great head coach. And look where they went. They went to Penn State, North Carolina, and West Virginia. Group of 5. The whole receiving corps at a group of 5 school went to all Power 5 teams. These guys can play football. And Devontae Walker was the best one out of all of them. So he's going to have weapons. They lost the whole secondary. But Elijah Huzzy coming in, complete beast of a guy. We talk about Coastal Carolina losing Willie Lampkin, their second best player. It's incredible. There's just the players you see coming in are legit. Antavius Lane, safety, Georgia State. I'm telling you, he's nice. I've watched the film. So I feel really good about who North Carolina brought in to cover up for the blanks. And when I say that, I feel really good about the talent level that's leaving Georgia Tech. It was a waste of talent at that school. And one of those guys is Jeff Sims. Hot take, Jaren Hall will end up becoming a full-time starter for Minnesota during his rookie contract. Kirk is great, but aging. So first and foremost, Connor, I really like Jaren Hall, BYU quarterback, the first African-American starting quarterback in BYU history. I'm a huge fan of Jaren Hall. I think he's athletic. I think he's kind of cerebral, kind of stoic, and just a quiet professional. And he handles his shit. But if you think Kirk Cousins is losing his starting job to Jaren Hall by the end of the first year, you're tripping, bruh. Kirk Cousins is a dog. Kirk Cousins got drafted in the 4th round on a team that drafted a quarterback number 2 overall in RG3. They had RG3, and they said, we need to get this guy Kirk Cousins in the 4th round. He's a beast. And Kirk Cousins showed up and said, that's cool. I'm going to be here longer than that dude. I'm going to have a career longer than everybody. I'm going to make more money than all these dudes. I'm going to make $200 million. I'm going to have over 30,000 passing yards. I'm going to have a real NFL career. And Kirk Cousins just walking around taking jobs from people. He's a real alpha male. You don't know this. Kirk Cousins in college at Michigan State beat out Nick Foles. Nick Foles had to transfer and leave and go to Arizona. Kirk Cousins has been beating dudes out every day of his life since he got to college, to the NFL. Nothing's been handed to that man. He ain't losing that job to no rookie. Kirk Cousins is a man. You like that? You like that? Yeah, Kirk Cousins, bruh. You guys, before you write crazy stuff like that, know who you're talking about. You're talking about the people's champ. Best team in Arizona. Oh, what up, Rico? Blessings, brother. Hey, I appreciate you, Jared. Thank you for the tip, man. I don't get much, but I appreciate it. Best team in Arizona. Best team in Arizona, Arizona State. Arizona State. I like what they're doing. I like the way they transformed the roster. I know Arizona's good. I love a lot of their players. They got a kid. They got a guy, Rayshawn Luke, running back. Fastest running back I've seen on tape in a while. Pops on tape. Somebody go look up Luke. I think he was a state champ in the 100 meters in California. Or at least he ran track. He did something. That boy Luke did something. You know what? I shouldn't say that. We should go look it up. He's so fast. I think it's Rayshawn Luke. Rayshawn Luke, Arizona. Let's see how fast. This guy's 5'8", 5'9". Okay. St. John Bosco. What did he do in high school? Where is it at, bro? 10.55. I knew it. 100 meters. Including 100-meter time as a freshman, including a 10.55. You can just see it on tape. You can just see it on tape, bro. You put on the tape. This is how I can calibrate speed. When I've watched so much film on all these players that when I watch the film, I go, oh, That's a 4.2. That's a 4.3. That's a 4.6. I don't care I don't need a combine. I don't need a laser. I'm calibrated. I watch the tape and I'm like, whoa, that's a 10.5. That guy's got real top end speed. So Arizona does have a nice back, but I still like what Arizona State's doing. Thoughts on the LSU hype and them finishing better than Bama in the West? Yeah, Grant, I believe that's going to happen. I think Bama's in for a rude awakening. I think Bama's had the luxury of having quarterbacks ever since Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac Jones, and Bryce Young. That 5 quarterback span right there has been carrying them and keeping them relevant. I think they drop. I think right now they have such bad quarterbacks. They know they're losing one. And it's so bad, they went and got a backup from Notre Dame and said, hey, man, you come over here. You got a chance to compete and start. You think he came over to be a backup? Could have been a backup for one more year to Sam Hartman and then had the whole job to himself. No, he came with his offensive coordinator. And it's about Tommy Rees sitting there going, hey, man, I evaluated these 2 guys. They ain't good. Hey, Coach Saban, these guys aren't good. We need another quarterback. I know a guy. Bama's only signed 4 transfers all offseason. They've lost 22 guys in the portal. They've only signed 4. They're not out here handing out scholarships. They're not giving it to guys who are going to come back up, people. They're giving it to guys they believe in. They lost 22 guys in the portal. They've only backfilled 4. LSU? Jaden Daniels about to rip it, bro. Transfer portal, LSU? No matter how good they are, LSU still found starters in the portal. What are my transfer portal rankings? Let me go look up what I have here. I have LSU found 6 starters in the portal. They signed 12 guys. How does a team that good find 6 starters in the portal? That's crazy. That's what Oklahoma did. That's what Wisconsin did. But LSU, you're in the SEC championship game. You can't be finding that many starters. Yeah, you can. That's the quality of the players that they got. LSU, I believe in them this year. I'm good with it. I believe in them. I believe in them big time. Do you remember someone named Cord Sandberg? Yes, I do. Played quarterback with Bo Nix at Auburn. Yep, pretty interesting story. I do remember Cord Sandberg. Yep. I don't remember his story, but I remember his name for sure. Bishop is what Colorado needed. That's a fact. Colorado wins 1 to 3 games this year. Chris, after they win 4 games, I want you in here apologizing. Who is your team? Bulldogs is. I support Prime, though. Nah. You're a child. Very subjective question. But what defines a generational quarterback to you? Also, do you believe Caleb Williams is one? No, Caleb Williams is not a generational quarterback to me. Generational quarterback, number 1. How long is a generation? A generation is every 20 years. Because you have kids every 20 years or so. So if a generation is every 20 years, who's the generational quarterback in this generation? It's Patrick Mahomes is this generation's quarterback. And before that, it was Tom Brady. And before that, it was Joe Montana. There's only a few generational quarterbacks. Now, are there generational talent? They keep using this term all the time. It's just, guys, keep it in perspective. Trevor Lawrence is an amazing quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is a far better, superior, I guess, prospect than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, he's a dual threat quarterback. I got it. He's good. I like him. I like everything I see on the young man. But I've seen it before. In this generation. I saw it in Cam Newton. I see it in Jalen Hurts. I see it in other players. It's not earth-shattering to me. I just told you Frank Harris is my dark horse Heisman. Go watch some film on Frank Harris. Go look at Frank Harris's stats. Let me know. Let me know if Caleb Williams is generational or if he's just the best quarterback that we've seen in about 3 or 4 years. That's all he is. Not bad. It's not a knock on him. I just don't like that term. Every 20 years. Give me a generational guy every 20 years. Bulldogs is I support Prime. Yeah, best tight end in all of college football. I got Bowers. Yeah, Connor, these aren't even real questions. Who you got Bowers? Who does anybody else have? You got Bowers. Who does anybody? What kind of debate are we having right now? Best wide receiver in college football. I got Marvin Harrison Jr. Who you got? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're courageous. Jeff Collins, worst quarterback. What are we gonna have? Worst coach ever. Was a hell of a recruiter. Just couldn't convert to wins on the field. This is true. Jeff Collins was doing well. Bishop is Colorado's Bear Alexander. I believe they're equivalent. I believe they're good players. CU was in dire need of defensive tackles. That's for sure. Dire need. That's a bit of a stretch. Dire is not exactly correct. They've signed 14 defensive linemen. Stop with the dramatics. Stop with the dire. 14 defensive linemen. I don't care how many defensive tackles, defensive ends, edges, whatever. You can bring in 14 guys to a position group. Let them figure it out. Somebody can play on the inside for all I care. Not dire. Kirk isn't taking anyone's job. He is lucky that this draft class didn't have a great quarterback. Chris E., you guys sound absurd. You guys don't understand. You don't pay a man over $200 million, and he's lucky to have a job. The guys lucky to have a job are the other half of the league. Kirk Cousins has thrown for almost 40,000 yards. He's been relevant for years upon years. For a decade. He knows what he's doing. You guys, high noon. You guys just the worst takes ever, bro. Hey, Chris, I want you to go and start your own podcast and start it with that. I want you to do a sports take. Go make a TikTok and just make a video and say, Kirk Cousins is overrated. He's lucky there was no. Just do that. See who's rocking with it. Just send that message and see who else agrees. Maybe it'll go viral. I don't know. I highly doubt it. LT definitely not. Facts, they need them. Okay, no, not by the end of the first season. I think you misunderstood me. I mean that Hall will get the starting job during his rookie contract. So this is by the third or fourth year. Yeah, okay. He's great, but he'll be 35. Okay. So by the end of his rookie contract, you would hope so. You would hope that you drafted a quarterback for that. So yeah, I'll buy that. The new defense tackles are way better than then. Okay, gearhead, you misspelled head, but more importantly, when you're comparing two things, you put THAN. When you put THEN, you're telling me something's happening. It's like in time, right? So when you say the new defensive tackles are way better, then we went to the store, is what you meant to write. But when you said then guys we had last year, then guys we had last year left in the portal. Like, I don't know. Hey, your sentence doesn't make sense to me. I'm confused. We could use another, but they are already far superior. Yeah, you got to watch your contract allocation or your scholarship allocation. I'm stuck with it. Sammy left because Cokes and Payne beat him out. This is true. And he was the best that you had last year, which was sad because he wasn't any good. I don't know. I don't know if that's sad. We might be misusing the word sad. Worst run defense in the country, gave up 270 yards or more in 6 of the 12 games, including 435 to Air Force. So CU was in dire need of defense tackles. All right, Gearhead. The reason you gave up 270 yards or more is because teams were ahead by so much they weren't passing the ball. When you have a huge lead in the second half, you just run the ball. You just run out the clock, and so you just run it. That's why Colorado had no sacks. That's why the D-line had no sacks. Nobody was throwing the ball in the second half. You don't have to. You're up by 50. You just run the clock out. Just give it to some other guys and let them run. Come on, man. Stats aren't everything. Air Force is great. What did Air Force do to Baylor? You guys gotta just study the game. Don't just read stats like this. That stat does nothing for me. You tell me Air Force defense is great? It's not great. They just run the ball all the time, so the other team doesn't have it. Kirk is a regular season stat patter. Let's see what he does in the playoffs to make it to when he makes it to the playoffs. Yeah, I don't, Chris. That whole narrative is tiresome. That whole narrative is ridiculous. You got to win games in the regular season, and he wins games in the regular season. Not everybody wins in the playoffs. Not every quarterback wins in the playoffs. That doesn't make you a bad quarterback. It means your team isn't good. There's a lot of reasons. I hate that whole mindset. Oh yeah, when the prime games matter, yeah, late night. Blah, blah. You guys are ridiculous. Hell, Kirk Cousins arguably had the best career of any quarterback in the 12th. Not arguably. How high up in the rankings will Colorado Buffaloes go? Dwarfland, they will not go very high in the rankings. That is not a thing. Offensive coordinator Sean Lewis is a Power 5 quality coach. I believe so. Do you think he leaves after one successful year at Colorado? If he gets job offers, I want you guys to know that the reason you become a coordinator in the Power 5 is to get a head coaching job in the Power 5. Being a group of 5 head coach does not get you that job. Being a group of 5 head coach will it is not likely to get you a Power 5 head coaching job. The way you become a Power 5 head coach is you're a coordinator at a Power 5 school. Shout out to every new head coach. 90% of them are being coordinators at previous Power 5 schools. That's who they're hiring at Power 5 level. So this is Sean Lewis's one-way ticket to get to the Power 5 as a head coach. Coach Norvell is not a Power 5 head coach. You guys can name one-offs. You can name individuals who've done it. It's not going to be who you're thinking. Like Hugh Freeze, but it's because he had an experience. Being a group of 5 head coach, he is still a group of 5 head coach. Norvell was a head coach in Nevada. What is with you guys? Look. Coaching changes in 2023. Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham. How did he get there? Offensive coordinator at Oregon. Okay? Hugh Freeze had prior experience as a head coach. This is not a Power 5 job. This is a Power 5 job. Scott Satterfield, it's sheer luck. He was the head coach at another Power 5 school in Louisville. Okay, not a Power 5 job. Power 5 job, Deion Sanders, just dumb luck, right? Just different. Power 5 job, Georgia Tech, Brent Key. Well, he was an offensive line coach. Okay, cool. Nope. Power 5, Jeff Brom, another head coach. Mississippi State, Zach Arnett, offense coordinator, defense coordinator, interim coach. Somebody had to die for him to get the job, bro. Nebraska, Matt Rule, former head coach. Purdue, Ryan Walters, defensive coordinator. Stanford, you got a lucky job here at the FCS coming up. None of these are Power 5 jobs. Wisconsin, Luke Fickell, former head coach. And there you go. You got to go undefeated at Cincinnati to get the job. Okay? Now, go to 2022. Who were the guys? Oh, why is it doing this to me? I don't want to see 2023 again. Back up off me before I sit my cup down. 2022. Who got the jobs? Sonny Dykes. Where was he coming from? Anybody? Nobody knows? What about Brian Kelly? How'd he get there? Lincoln Riley. It's just the good old boy network, guys. At the Power 5 level, it's good old boy network. DeBauer got a hookup. Elko's a defense coordinator from Texas A&M. Marcus Freeman, defensive coordinator. Jim Moore, former head coach, but that's not even Power 5. Defense coordinator, I'm sorry. These are not Power 5. Florida, former head coach. There's one coming from the group of 5. Washington State, Dickert. Joey McGuire, coordinator. Well, he's a positions coach at Baylor. Defense coordinator. It's not happening, bro. You're not getting a Power 5 job without being a previous head coach somewhere or a coordinator. That's just how it's done. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality. Offensive coordinator, Tony Elliott. I mean, I've studied this. Brent Pry. I have studied this. Ken Wilson, linebackers coach, but it's not a Power 5 job. Power 5 jobs, you got to be a former head coach or you got to be an offense or a coordinator. It's just what it is. Willie Taggart was South Florida head coach before Oregon. Have we seen how Willie Taggart's done? Once again, you're going to find one-offs, and it's not going to go well. You're going to find one-offs, and it's not going to go well. back to what I was saying. Where are we at? Chrissy damn near is good. It's not just stats. The front seven sucked. They couldn't stop the run. That's just how it was. I'm aware. I watched it. So, yeah, do I think Sean Lewis is going to leave after one successful season? No. I think he's around for two. Unless he gets offers. Who's in the hot seat? Does he want the Indiana job? Let me know. Does he want the Boston College job? Those are hot seat Power 5 teams. He doesn't want Northwestern. You got to think about what teams are available. It's not just stats. Yes, Kirk is better because Andrew Luck retired early. Kirk is just milking money from Minnesota. Ran Diggs off to Buffalo. If you don't think Buffalo wanted him, this is absurd, Chris. Chris, you got a real agenda out here, bro. Air Force doesn't throw the ball, and the weather was terrible. Yeah, we know. We know, Mr. Maurice. Very much. Rico knows very much. Thank you very much, Cindy. Thank you for being here. Coach Norvell, yep, La Tech. Willie Taggart, boom. Rico, any comments on the two guys I gave you yesterday? Dylan Brooks, a match for CU. Dylan Brooks is not a match for CU. Dylan Brooks is fragile. Dylan Brooks actually got in the portal simply because Auburn was hosting other edge rushers that would start over him. He's not ready to compete. He can't. I wouldn't want to see him at Colorado because you got to compete. You're being an edge rusher, you got to compete. I think you guys got to stop looking for edge rushers. Stop trying to get edge rushers. They got a lot. Got to let it go. So, hope we had a good conversation today. Hope we talked about some fun things. It's just, it's what's trending. Thank you guys for being here. We've been at it for about 100 minutes. I just want to remind you guys, I do have a TikTok. Come watch the videos. I do have YouTube. Find the playlist. Watch everything on the playlist. Pick a playlist. Pick a different playlist every night and watch all the videos. Just pick a different one. And keep watching them. Now you're asking me questions. I told you guys, don't ever let me get to the bottom of the chat because then the show ends. So, no, is CU getting Alton? Not that I know of. Middle linebacker and tight end is what CU needs. Apparently. So, that's where it's at. I've already done those live streams. Try to go catch them. I'll keep making my content. I'll keep enjoying my evening. But it's nice to see everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Enjoy the interaction. Always come with your questions. I'm never going to ignore you. I'm going to do my best. And, yeah, let's do this. Whoa. I'll be here every day as often as I can. I won't be around this weekend, but I wish you guys well. Let's go.
When they come, and they will, they'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Oh, I thought the beast had wandered off.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top.
Let me infiltrate the beat, concentrate the heat. If you ain't on my level, fuck it, let me be. I'll be going till it's all in motion, talking killing rappers, then I hit my quota. And my train of thought is more a locomotive, talking reason for it, I got locomotives. Used to be on a revenge tip, on a stun on my ex and a friend's tip. I was Spider-Man whipping the black suit, I was powerful but almost lost Luke. Blurring the line between human and artist, try not to change but I swear it's the hardest. I swear when you're up they turn you to a target. Home was a trip, all I did when I'm talking. So, what it take to be an icon? All in your desktop, so I just might already be one. My me with the label, it feels on the table one time, but I'm down for a free lunch. Just speaking my heat-seeking missiles of hits, but other than me, I see no heat exists. Yo, gassed up, I'm about to go green, go green, go green. Hulk smash if she know me, know me, know me. Write it to life like I'm Stan Lee, Stan Lee, Stan Lee. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. Green, 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 green. I'm about to go green, 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 green. I'm about to go green, 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 green. I'm about to go green. Get the fuck back, I'm about to go green. I might begin making a feature Iraq. Cause when I hit your beat, I turn shit to Iraq. Dropping bombs like I'm cursing you out. This your house, then I'm kicking you out. Quiet as a mouse, came in the game, now the word is out that I've been lighting the flame. Shit is potent, don't you know it? I've been flowing, steady growing till they know the name. Saw it ahead of time, knew that I'd get to my losing myself in the view to some window pain. I swear I'm all about peace, I'm a positive person. Wasn't always like